Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow feelings of any worry, tension and stress to leave your body in your outward breath. That's it. And with your eyes closed, notice that you're able to give more of your focus, more of your concentration and attention to the sound of my voice. And in doing so, notice that as you breathe in and breathe out, with each exhale, you're able to release more and more of that tension, taking you into a deep, magical place that some people call hypnosis, enabling you to go deeper and deeper, relaxed. And this trance state is nothing new. There's been times where you've been driving and completely forgot that you were even driving a car, or maybe reading a really good book, creating images, movies in your mind's eye without noticing or even turning a page, or watching a great movie and almost feeling like you are the main character, no longer aware of where you're sitting or what you're doing. And these hypnotic trance-like states are not rare, they're common. And that's the place you're going to right now. So as your physical body relaxes, your mind can do what your mind likes to do, which is play. And sometimes the best form of play is to remember something, a time when you felt good. And I want you to remember a time where you were just walking, perhaps by the side of the ocean on a marina. And if you can recall a time like that, just let me know by nodding your head. And isn't it strange that as you were walking by that marina, sometimes you didn't have to think about putting one foot in front of the other. It happened all by itself. You didn't have to think about breathing in or breathing out. It just happened by itself. And sometimes you were daydreaming as you walked by those boats, and sometimes you were very mindful looking at the boats and wondering where they've came in from, maybe different countries, different parts of the world, wondering maybe who owns them and what they do. And all these thoughts are effortless as you look at the boats on the marina. And I want you to imagine seeing the most beautiful yacht you've ever seen in the marina. And I wonder what it would be like if you could freeze time so everyone is a statue apart from you. Imagine just doing that. Freezing time. Only you can move on this marina. And because everyone's frozen, you now get to explore this incredible yacht. Imagine boarding the yacht, having a look around and seeing the frozen expressions on the faces of people there on the boat. Wander around the boat, maybe seeing incredible rooms, maybe a dining area, and maybe go to a bedroom on this yacht that is completely empty, untouched. Imagine there's a very comfortable bed. And imagine putting your head on the pillow and just sinking into that bed, knowing that you're on a yacht, floating on the water, inside your imagination, about to drift off into a dream within a dream within a dream, where I count down from 5 to 1, and then you imagine falling asleep there on that bed, on that boat, in that marina, in your imagination, starting to count 5. Arms getting heavier and heavier there on the side of you on that duvet on that mattress there on that boat. 4, all your facial expressions just start to loosen and relax. As you know, everyone is frozen in time but you. You're breathing in, breathing out, releasing tension, feeling so relaxed there on that yacht, on that marina in the ocean. That's it. 3, feeling it easier to breathe in and breathe out, releasing that tension. 2, legs getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And then 1, just imagine what it would be like to drift off into a deep, relaxating, hypnotic sleep there on that bed. That's right. Taking you deeper and deeper, relaxed. And within your imagination, you can recall another time when you've been on a bed. And I want you to see yourself like you're someone else, perhaps on your usual bed watching TV. Maybe it's an evening. And I want you to see yourself eating chocolate, crunchy chocolate. Maybe it's Lindt or M&M's or dairy milk or something that up to this point in time has been desirable. Imagine climbing into that body, feeling like you are now in your bed, watching TV while you're just snacking away on that chocolate. Feeling an urge, a desire to get that satisfaction from this chocolate. And then I want you to get a sense that eating the chocolate now means something new for you. You've seen images of leeches in perhaps TV documentaries, in movies. Maybe you've seen a leech in real life, but you get the sense that a leech is a parasite that attaches to the skin and sucks the blood from its host. And if you can recall a time where you've seen a leech, whether in reality or just on a video, just let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine that from this point forwards, the idea of eating certain foods that are highly processed, foods that are high in sugar and vegetable oil, foods that are processed maybe with lots of sugar and salt. I want you to get a sense that they are now leaching important resources from you. They are leaching your standards. They are leaching your confidence and your self-esteem as you know that you are not being the best version of you. They are leaching your time because every time you eat this food, you are undoing the good work you're doing when you are eating those salads and you are working out. And I want you to imagine that looking in your hands is a bar of chocolate. Maybe the chocolate that you've eaten every now and then. But as you pull it up to your mouth to eat it, as you look down, you can see that the chocolate has turned into a living leech. I want you to get a sense that inside the packet you can see the leeches crawling. That slimy texture, almost like a large slug. And just once I want you to imagine what it would be like to put that leech in your mouth. Feel what it would feel like for that leech to attach itself to your tongue. And in your mind, just know that the leech is a representation of the chocolate. It's different texture, but the function is the same. To take time, to take energy, to take emotions, to take confidence and self-esteem away from you, to leech it away from you. With one leech still attached to your tongue, imagine picking up another one that represents a different piece of chocolate and putting it towards your mouth until every cell in your body is telling you this does not make sense. Why would you voluntarily make a choice to take those things that you value most, your health, your confidence, your self-esteem, your pride, and have it leached away from you. And at the point where every cell in your body not only doesn't want these leeches anywhere near you, but is making a resolution that you don't need them in your life anymore, let me know by nodding your head. That's right. And then the leeches turn into chocolate, and you still have that desire to get the chocolate out of your mouth. Imagine spitting it out, seeing the combination of half-chewed chocolate and saliva, perhaps in your hand or maybe in the packet. And at this point, I want you to unlock a powerful resource deep inside you, a resource that served you so well in many areas of your life, and that is, at your core identity, you are someone with incredibly high standards. And if you agree that statement is true, let me know by nodding your head. And at this point in time, you will now apply those very high standards into this area of your life. To eat foods that leach your confidence, your self-esteem, your time away from you makes no sense. But there are foods that do the opposite. There are foods that, rather than leach the resources you value most, there are foods that give you the resources you value most. If you had nothing but chocolate and processed foods for years, you would end up sick and unhealthy, with missing teeth and bad skin, overweight and ill. And yet, if you had nothing but foods that are powered by sunshine and rainwater, fresh vegetables, organic fruits, delicious berries, at the end of that period of time where you ate nothing but that, you would be healthier than you've ever been. You would be glowing with confidence and high self-esteem. And I want you to imagine you're there lying on that bed watching TV, and a thought pops into your head that you feel like eating something crunchy. And I want you to imagine walking down towards your fridge and opening the fridge. And I want you to make an image in your mind's eye of all the delicious foods that could be in that fridge that represent something nutritious, healthy, but also crunchy and delicious. And the brighter the colours, the better. The more different varieties of food you see in that fridge, the better. Until you can increase and amplify the desire to eat them, knowing that these are the foods that will create a feeling of you glowing each and every time you see them, eat them, and know you've eaten them. And just do that for me now. Look at that fridge, just making the pictures of those delicious crunchy vegetables there in that fridge. And the more you see them, the more you desire them. And maybe you imagine putting them straight into your hands, or maybe you imagine putting them into a bowl and then taking them back with you. There to that bed where you're watching TV and just crunching on them, knowing that the chocolate was leaching something away from you, but this is giving you something. You feel more confident, you feel your self-esteem increasing just by eating them, knowing that you're doing something not just tasty, but you're getting so much more value in what it's doing for you. And then imagine you're somewhere else. Imagine that you are at a friend's house. Maybe a glass of wine in one hand, and seeing a table or a worktop with a selection of foods. And maybe there's crisps, and maybe there's processed foods, maybe there's the odd nut, snacks, but also maybe just sliced and diced vegetables like cucumbers and carrots. And it dawns on you that some of this food will leach and mean lower standards, and some of this food will mean high standards. And I want you to look at all this selection of foods, and the foods that represent high standards will glow. See them glow. Almost like with a halo, a brightness, a shininess to them. And as you see them looking like that, I want you to get a sense that they become desirable not for what they are, but also for what they will do for you. The glowing foods will make you glow. The foods powered by sunshine and rainwater will make you beautiful in the most natural of ways. And each and every time you eat foods that make you feel healthy, like you're raising your standards, that will give you a good feeling. And just try it now. Imagine you're standing there, even after a drink or two, and still choosing to eat those crunchy vegetables or maybe the odd slice of fruit, and feel how good it feels to be maintaining high standards in this area of your life. I want you to see that there's maybe a small bowl of mixed nuts. I want you to look at the nuts and feel that one nut is amazing. A few nuts are great, but too many nuts just feel like diminishing returns. In the same way that maybe you feel about alcohol. You might have a glass or two of wine, but you're not a drunkard. And maybe you've seen people that have drunk too much alcohol and it kind of looks a bit tragic because they fell into the trap of believing that if one is good, then two must be better and seven must be amazing. But isn't the opposite the truth? That some things just reward moderation, and nuts and fruits are one of those things that in small amounts are amazing, but too many has diminishing returns, too many calories and too little payoff. And as these seeds of ideas get planted in your deep subconscious mind, I want you to get a sense of you starting to imagine what your future now looks like. These subtle changes make no difference in a day or a week, and very little difference in a month. But after a year, look how different you are. These same high standards you've had in so many areas of your life, it's now there in the physical side. You catch yourself in a reflection, seeing a confident version of you, a glowing version of you, hearing compliments of how beautiful you are, people asking you what skin creams you use to look so youthful, and you smile as you say, no, I just love eating natural, healthy foods. And then you realize some foods are parasites that take, and some foods are gifts that give. And the gift of these vegetables and fruits is the gift of health, vitality, and youthfulness. Some women spend thousands of pounds a year on all the creams and potions without realizing that real beauty is within and starts with the water you drink and the food you eat. And from this point onwards, you will have a craving to start from the inside and allow it to go outwards until you too are glowing. And then you recall, this is just your mind having an adventure, as you remember that actually you're on a boat, in a bed, and imagine getting out of that bed, looking around And somewhere in this boat is a huge range of possible foods. They have the vegetables, they have the berries, delicious fruits, the amazing waters, but they also have the chocolates and the crisps and the processed foods. And I want you to get a sense that here, where time is frozen, you could eat whatever you want. And notice what appeals to you. As you see all the possible foods there on that boat, you realize that once what was appealing now seems less appealing. Not because of what it tastes like, but because of what it represents. Leeches that take, compared to gifts that give. And then just take 2 or 3 things of the most delicious glowing things on whatever is in front of you. Notice how good they taste in the moment, but also how good they make you feel as you then leave the boat and time restarts again. Everyone around the marina starts walking again, and you realize that in this frozen moment of time, key changes have taken place about how you think about certain foods, but more importantly, what you're willing to do to raise your standards. And then you realize that even this marina is just your mind entertaining ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, and thoughts within thoughts, and actually you're listening to my voice firmly in the present right now. Very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, and you will awaken feeling with a significant shift in how you evaluate things now in place. You will awaken feeling resourceful, motivated, feeling that your life is now heading in a subtly different direction. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.